Okay, I'd like to call to order P&Z and consider the approval of the minutes for the March 12th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meetings and take any actions necessary. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
All agree?
Aye.
Okay, motion is passed, and we are going to rearrange the agenda. We're going to put number 3 up to the number 2 spot on the agenda. And we'll start out with Z-2024-06, hold a public hearing and consider the request of an Anna Castillo property owner for the approval of a specific use of permit SUP to allow a church within single-family residence district being a 0.350 acre parcel of land situated in the Daniel McCall Survey, abstract number 357, Titus County, Texas, and being described as all of lots 3 and 4, block 16, Sunrise Edition. Unrecorded plat, City of Mount Pleasant, Texas, and is addressed as 1306 East 8th Street, and take any action necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. The property that we're talking about this evening is located here. This is East 8th Street, and there was a church that was here. It's been here, was constructed, I think, back in the 80s, and been here probably about 30 years. And in December of this past year, just a couple of months ago, a few months ago, the church had burned completely, so all the way to the ground, 100%. And the applicant came in to staff, sat down with staff, and talked about rebuilding their church. And so the one thing that we have on zoning, since this is a residential zone entirely, you've got RL Journey Park that's located directly behind here as well. Otherwise, it's surrounded by residential area. So a church, which is allowed by a specific use permit in a residential area, is not a use that's allowed by right, such as like a neighborhood services district or some type of a commercial or a light industrial district. It would be allowed by right there. So a specific use permit, all that really means is for you to take a look at this to see how's that going to affect the neighborhood, you know, and it allows the neighbors within the area to see if they would like. There's no issue with the church being there as well, and so that's the purpose of having the notices go out. We did send out 9 notices to the properties that are within 200 feet, which are essentially just this small group right here received the notices. Of the notices, I did put 5 notices on your desk this evening. I got those today, and of those notices, of those 5, all 5 are opposed to the applicant's request to build the church. Now, what the applicant, let me just say what the applicant is requesting here is, let me go back to the, this was the church. As you can see here, if you pull up a Google map, you can see that what they had here, there was no parking here at all, and so I think what they were doing, they were parking along the street, and so all they had was a U-shaped drive here. It's got asphalt and some asphalt, I would say, so it's not an improved property. What the applicant is proposing here, when we sat down with them, because they lose their nonconformity for the church, what they're requesting is a 3,550 square foot church that'll be located almost in the same area that this is located. However, they will have parking spaces. They'll need to meet the requirement for parking based on the number of occupants or church members that'll be inside the facility. And in this case, they have seating for 46 seats, and how that's parked is 1 space for each 4 seats, and so that equates to 12 parking spaces. And so the applicant is providing 12 parking spaces here for the site. And in the SUP, Staff has provided some additional conditions for this, and that are listed in your packet. I'll just briefly go over those. Is that if this gets approved, then they'll have to meet what the concept plan here is, generally speaking, and that they'll need to provide the 12 parking spaces. If they were to expand at any point, they would have to meet the parking requirements of 1 per 4 seats within the auditorium. And also the other condition in here is that no overnight occupancy. We discussed that with the applicant. If there were going to be any overnight occupancy, it would have to be sprinkled. So we've included in here that the structure would need to meet all current fire and building codes should they have any occupancy. So at this point, we're saying no occupancy with that. With that, I don't know if the applicant is here for this, but this is a public hearing, and I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
To clarify, you said it used to be a church in this exact spot and it burned down, correct? And because now it was built as a house? Is that correct? The structure that's on there now, was it built as a house?
Yeah, my understanding, it was built as a church. The tax rolls show it to be a church and was built in, let me see here, TCAD in 1982. And it's classified as a church of 2,768 square feet. So they're enlarging it somewhat to 3,550 square feet, but they've indicated they can meet the parking based on what they're requesting. But it was a church, as far as I understand. And from some of the other employees who were here, have indicated, yeah, that's always been a church there.
And how much room for growth do they have if they grow their congregation? And how many parking spots? Let me start over. How many more parking spots would they need or do they have room for?
Based on their concept plan, we went through a couple of iterations on this, and so we've come with the final number here at 12. Not unless they were to change somehow something on this. This is probably what you're going to see as maximum parking.
It appears to me that, and I would want to be optimistic enough to think that there would be some growth, and that the church body would grow, but it seems like that would create additional problems. In other words, growth is going to be a real issue because it's going to require more parking spaces, maybe a somewhat larger facility. I'm not sure this is a good move. I don't want to turn somebody down, but it might be a blessing in disguise for them to sell this property as a residential and take that money and go somewhere else. There's got to be other locations in town that would be practical for them, I would think.
Yeah, and if the applicant were here, I think they might be able to answer some of those questions. The only thing we can do is present what they are requesting. But fair, yeah, understood, certainly understand.
Did the applicant discuss with the city at all when they were being explained some of the requirements they were going to have to meet some of these issues in the responses from the neighbors, like late night music and parking in their yards and issues like that?
So once again, these came in today, so that was not discussed about, the conditions of the property. We just knew that the church had been here for 30 plus years.
So from what seems like a common thread with all these responses, as far as the loud noise and things like that, is this the same congregation going back in there that's been using the church?
I don't know how long that this particular body has been at this location, but as far as to answer the question about noise complaints, that would be a police department. If there's noise there, they can certainly call the PD. We do have noise ordinances available to the police.
we'll go ahead and open, for a public, hearing. We've got anybody wants to comment on this particular item? Okay, we'll close to the public, and, we'll, take a vote. Do I hear a motion to approve? No motion to approve. So at this time, we will move on to the next item and not approve. Is that correct? So we need to approve or disapprove. Do I hear a disapproval?
I make a motion that we hold a vote so that it goes on public record, and not just a motion to disapprove. Let's have a vote.
I make a motion to deny.
I second the motion to deny.
I'll make a motion to deny. All agree? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion has been disapproved. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the number 3 spot, which used to be the number 2 spot. So this is, next agenda is for Z-2024-5, hold a public hearing and consider the request of Pam Sherbin, P.E. of PAS or PSA Engineering for approval of a zone change from FD, Future Development District, to SF-1, Single Family Residential District, and GR, General Retail District, being situated in the John H. Orr Survey Abstract Number 432 and the William Porter Survey Abstract 437, and the meets and bounds and description to the Texas Utility Mining Company by the warranty deeds as recorded in certain volume and page as identified in the meets and bounds description of the real estate, or in the real property records, Titus County, City of Mount Pleasant, Texas, and general located north of Breezeway Drive, CR 1317, and the junction of North US Highway 271 and US Highway 271 BR, and take any action necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apologize for that, but it was actually about a page long. I shortened it as much as I could. So the property that we're taking a look at this evening, as you've indicated, it's at the junction here of, this is 271, Business 271, and of course 271, the Business 271, this is Highway 271, and this is Breezeway Drive here. So this is about a 24-acre portion of the property that you're looking at this evening. And to give a little context, the property was annexed. This is part of this large annexation that happened in July of 2022. It's about 500 acres. This is a portion of that that came in. Zoned Future Development District, and a part of that was the comprehensive plan that came through as well, indicating that in the comp plan they wanted to see a general retail or a commercial center, what they call a commercial center up here, as well as community residential or residential in this area. And what the community residential is single family one or larger lots. And so that's essentially what the applicant is going to be providing here. When we take a look at their concept plan, They're looking at a C-store here. It's a convenience store with gasoline sales, as well as about 1,100, a little over 1,100 square foot retail restaurant type of facility. That's about 2.4 acres for the general retail portion. And they plan on providing 52 single-family homes for the 20. It's about 20, a little over 20 acres, the remaining portion here. When we take a look at the comprehensive plan, this actually meets everything with the comprehensive plan indicates for this. And so with that, we did send out 5 public notices, and as well as advertised in the newspaper and on the website. And with that, we received no notices back on this. With that, I don't believe the applicant made it so far. So, but with that, I'm available for any questions you may have regarding this request. And this is a public hearing.
So the water and sewer and all of that's already out there? I mean, they can handle all of these residential houses, is that correct?
Right. So that's one thing that we will be looking at. Yeah, the water and sewer, I think you may recall that those lines were run. You got water over here, I believe sewer. They'll have to come in with the design for some sewer and how they're going to bring that in. But we do have a water that runs along, and they'll bore under and tap into that line that's on the east side of 271. But yeah, they're planning on having sewer as well too for the property, and you'll see that coming in when we go to the preliminary plat.
Do you have any idea of the date of this photocopy?
Of which photocopy? Oh, yeah, the aerial that came off of our system. That's probably 2022 aerial, I believe.
Okay, there's a house already out there.
So I believe the house that you're referring to is located right down here in this lower corner, right? That's not part of the development. That would not be a part of this development.
No, it's not there. It's up on Breezeway Drive or County Road 1317. It's the first lot.
Yeah, Mr. Schreben is here this evening, and he can probably answer that question, where I was not aware that there's a home there. Do you have any more questions for me? You can open the public hearing.
So at this time, we'll open it for a public hearing. If you'd like to speak.
Okay, good evening. My name is Pan Schreben. I'm the principal engineer of the PSA Engineering in Dallas, Texas. And we are the planning and engineering for this project for the Singha Group, and Mr. Roboto, the property owner, is here too. And we present to you a 52 lot SF1 subdivision and 2.3 acre of retail project. Consists of one C-store with 6 gas pump and a 12,000 square foot retail building at the intersection. And we refer to this project as the Junction Center because it's right junction at 271. And you question about utility. I have a utility plan, preliminary plan that I'd be glad to give it to y'all to look at it. We're going to extend the sewer line from the creek 2,000 feet up along the west side of Jefferson Boulevard to the property. And then the sewer line will spread into the property to pick up all the sewer of the subdivision and the commercial project. We also prepared a storm drainage system that have a detention system, so we not release any water from this subdivision more than what it is today. So there'll be no flooding that occur from our development. As you can see on the plan, the water line, the existing 8-inch water line is on the east side of Jefferson. And we'll bore across twice. The fire department want to have a loop system, so we not have a dead end, there'll be a loop system. And we also provide a connection for the future development to the west of 271 also. The sewer line, it also make that provision also. So there's a area west of 271 that can sewer to this project and come down all the way to the city line at the creek. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
How soon do y'all plan on starting after, how far do you predict you're gonna, you break ground?
The developer tell us that they like to have the house built ready for next school year. Will be this August of next year. Hopefully that we have the platinum plan approved by June or July this year. It will take 6 months of construction and another 4 months for housing construction. So the house should be ready to sell 60 days prior to school opening. That's what the target is right now, pending there's no major rain or catastrophe happen.
And will these lots be for sale, or are they gonna be built by the guy that does the subdivision?
Mr. Roboto will be the builder for all the lot in this subdivision.
My name is Roberto Marroquin. I'm the owner of the property. As far as right now, we're gonna own the land, we're gonna build a house and sell it. We haven't talked about selling lots, individuals, for somebody else to build on. As of right now, we're gonna build and sell.
Did you sell a lot to the person who built the house out there now? Okay, I'm assuming you built that house. Did you permit that project? And if so, are you connected to water and sewer?
No, sir. We're still existing on the county regulation, which we can use a ROVI system. At the time that we did get all the permits from the city whenever they annexed. Before that, we had already started building the house because it was outside the city limits. But of course, since we're gonna have sewer, we'll be able to connect the house to the sewer. Yes, sir. Because the sewer line is gonna run east and west for us to be able to connect the house as well. It'd be out to whoever buys the property whether they want to stay on a ROVI system or connect to the sewer on the city.
I'd like to present to you a little bit about the financing the development cost factor, so you'll be thinking about it. The improvement for the road, the sewer, the water, the storm sewer, will invest it over $4.5 million for this project. That will bring water and sewer to every square foot of this development. And at the end, we estimated the property tax value that will add to the tax roll will be around $18 million to $20 million. That will be value increase from this development. The 4.5 million does not include the house construction. There'll be the cost of house construction. This just only the lot improvement.
So that's your water, all your infrastructure, your water, your sewer, your streets, all of that's $4 million on 52 lots, correct?
$4.5 million for 52 lot plus the commercial.
Well, I personally think it's great. I think it's a good idea. All I hear is we need housing. Everybody in town says we need housing. So here's a great avenue, it looks to me like. And I like the idea that it's a plan that the city's not being asked to pay for. That's encouraging to me. So I wish you the best.
Just curious, on the convenience store and the retail and restaurant, do you have plans on that? Are there owners that are gonna do that, or are you developing it?
The C-store, it will be 5,100 square feet. The store with fast food inside the store that we permitted by itself with the gas station, with the gas pump, which it have six pump on 3 islands. Okay, the retail building is 12,000 square foot retail building that will be owned and by the developer and leased out to the tenant of mostly the neighborhood service type tenant. We're gonna have like a dye cleaner. And you can see that maybe the salon.
Do you know what the price point of these houses may be, or where they're gonna kind of start at? Got any idea?
What we're thinking the house is gonna be around anywhere to 250 to 290. We're gonna try to stay under the 300,000 range to be affordable.
What size houses?
We're thinking about 2,000 square feet house. We're looking at a 2-car garage. It's just really gonna depend, the cost of building the property. So we might have to go, instead of 2-car garage, we might just go to 1. And 1,500 square living.
I don't believe we have any other questions for you. We'll go ahead and close the meeting to the public and take a vote. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
I'll motion to second.
Motion's been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's passed. Do we go back to the citizens' comments are limited to 2 minutes? Do we read that down? Okay. All right. So limited to 2 minutes. The Planning and Zoning Commission is not permitted to respond to comments from the public per the city, per the public, per the Texas Open Meetings Act. And at this time, we'll hear from the Planning Director report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so hopefully everybody got enough of the solar eclipse yesterday, and I hope you all enjoyed that. The only thing I have listed out here are the 4 cases that we brought before you last month. Those did go before council, and those were all approved unanimously. And I have those listed in your packet. One was for the amendment to PD2, which was a 3.5 acre and text amendment for the Andersontown Crossing. That was approved once again 5-0. The 2-family home, the duplex, that was approved as well. That was over on North Johnson. The Huey helicopter, obviously, that was approved. Can't wait to see that on the building. And then, of course, the final plat for the Crump addition, that was approved as well. I'm happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Okay, at this time, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All
Second.
agree? Motions to adjourn.